doesn't, so is it like in an anxious way, like anticipating that something is going to go wrong? Or is it like when something happens and it's not what you thought it would
Both.
happen? Okay.
And I don't know how to handle that. And I don't know how to maneuver my feelings and how to put everything together to not eat my feelings, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, that's really it. I had a 4-day binge.
Mm-hmm.
It was just disgusting. I gained like 10 pounds. And then after that, I was just ashamed of myself, and I was just disappointed, and I was just like, I'm just annoyed of the cycle going over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't know how to handle that. And also, I don't know how to handle a boredom.
Okay.
So when I'm bored, it's like, because the habit is already there, it's like, let me just do that. So I need to like find like something to do. Like I have like a whole bunch of games on my phone and I just play it, and it's just like, okay, this is catering to my boredom, and that's been helping. So I've been just doing that. So that's helping with the boredom. But the disappointment, I don't know how to handle that, and I don't know how to.
What do you do like with anger?
Anger.
Like, if you get really upset at someone.
I haven't experienced that yet.
Okay. So
that's good.
Do you think it's that you haven't experienced it, or it just doesn't bother you?
It doesn't. I don't let it bother me. It's very hard to get me angry.
Okay.
I can get annoyed, but angry, I don't get angry.
So what happens if you get annoyed at someone?
I ignore them.
Okay. So for some reason, like with that, you're able to ignore it and not let it bother you as much.
Yeah.
But can something like that be translated over to like disappointment?
I don't know. Because it's like it's such a different feeling. And when I'm annoyed, it's just like, ugh. But when I'm disappointed, I'm like, oh. You know, it's like, it's different. It's like different moods.
What do you think is different about like the anger, annoyance versus the disappointment?
Because it's like, I can be happy and annoyed at the same time. But like disappointed, it's like you're just depressed.
Do you think, is there a difference at like where the emotion is targeted towards, if that makes sense?
Because I replay it over and over and over in my head, and it's like, I can't believe that I either did that, or that happened to me, or this is going on, like something like that.
So kind of, I think, like sort of like the rumination, like the
yes.
replay. But if someone does something that, like, say, annoys you, for some reason that is easily washed off.
Kind of, sort of, because I get snappy towards that person, but I'm in a good mood to everyone else. So it's just towards that person.
Okay.
Whereas disappointed, it's towards me.
Okay.
So it's like,
right.
I don't know how to handle that.
Because you're, instead of channeling something outward, it's like you're channeling it inward instead.
Yeah, and I'm battling the inner thoughts that I'm having, the negative inner thoughts. And it's like, like, you're so much better than this. I don't know why this happened. That.
Can you think of a time where you were disappointed, but you were able to get over it somehow? Like in a way that did not involve eating?
Not that I know of. Because before, I never really took into account my feelings. And I never really dove into that, and I've never really learned how to manage my feelings. So now it's just that I'm learning how to manage it all, that it's all hitting me, and it's like, I don't like this.
So it's sort of like, so it sounds like you're able to recognize
yes.
feelings pretty well, which
yes.
is good. That's sort of like that first step of like knowing what you're feeling and
yes.
being able to put a name on it.
Okay.
So
I'm making progress.
You're making progress.
Yay!
So I think the next part of it is essentially what, like, psychiatry and psychology speak is like sort of putting in coping skills.
Okay.
So essentially, like you're able to recognize like what happens, like what is it that makes you feel really bad, and like to put a label on that emotion. So then the second piece is like, so what do you do when you're like, okay, I'm feeling this thing. So like, what do I do that's a healthier version of like, say, eating my feeling?
I spoke to my aunt the other day, and like 2 days ago, and because earlier in the week I was just depressed, like after my little incident. It was just like disappointment because I went on a date and it didn't go like I thought it was gonna be, and then after it was just like, I don't know, and it's just like it wasn't even the date at all. I was just a little disappointed in that, but the day after something had happened, and then I was just disappointed and at myself because I was like circling around an old trait that I no longer need in my life in a way, like that negative trait. It like circled around and then it happened again, and I was like, oh, so I was disappointed in myself. So then after that, I was just like in bed for like the whole entire day. I slept the whole entire day, and then like 2 days after that, I spoke to my aunt, and she was like, that's not healthy. You need to learn how to like maneuver your feelings. And she was like trying to like dig into where everything is coming from. And she was saying that instead of eating my feelings, I do something else, and like I could dance or exercise, just do something more productive, so that way I'm not turning towards food to like put me in a mood, because it's just like in the moment it feels good, but then
afterwards
it doesn't, because it's like you see the repercussions. But it's like if you deal with it head on and learn to deal with your emotions and just stand firm and just stay focused and just turn your emotions to better use in a way, then everything just goes great. But it's just hard. It's
like
hard.
when I asked you, like, can you think of an instance where you were disappointed but you did something aside from, like, you couldn't think of any?
Yeah.
Because it's like that's sort of our coping skill.
Yeah,
like
you
you've
like
been
forget
doing
it.
the same thing every time. You know, it's like if you brush your teeth every night before bed, and I tell you like you can't brush your teeth anymore, it just feels like weird and wrong.
Yeah.
So essentially, like we talk about, there's behaviors that like mess you up, or they call them MUPs for short. It's like behaviors that mess you up. So essentially, for many people, it tends to be like, you know, like smoking cigarettes or like marijuana, or like, you know, engaging in unhealthy sexual behavior, or like eating your feelings, like binge eating when you feel that, you know, things are not the way that you want them to go. So essentially, things that feel good in the instant, but then when you think about it later, you're like, oh, that actually was like not good in the long run. Yeah. So similarly to like say like smoking marijuana, it's like it feels good in the instant, but then afterwards you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Yeah. So again, first step is like labeling those and like recognizing that as the bad behavior. And then the second part of it is like, as your aunt said, it's like sort of figuring out other healthier coping skills. So like not MUPs, like not things that mess you up, but like things that are like healthier. Yes, and uplifting. And she's like, go for a walk. Do something. It's nice outside now. Go for a walk. She's like, call me. Do something. And I was like, when I'm in that mood, I don't like to... like we were talking about the last session, I don't like to put my issues onto someone else. Like I don't want to be like a burden, you know? And I don't know, it's just like that. I spent like a couple hours with her, and it was just like the best thing ever, and it's something that I needed. And I guess that's what gave me a realization that I need to be around people that's gonna uplift me when I'm down. But it's hard to ask. It's really hard to ask. And I think part of it is, you know, sort of socialization, right? Like you're trained not to like be a burden on other people. Yeah. But it's like I have issues with being vulnerable as well. That's true. It's sometimes hard to admit to someone that we need help. Yes. Did it seem like you were a burden to your aunt when you talked to her? Not at all. It just came like rolled off the tongue. And it sounds like you guys had a really good conversation. Yeah, it was really great. And it sounds like your aunt would also be open to you like calling or talking to her again if something like this happened. So, because she knows, because she's dealt with depression and she's dealt with all those issues, so she knows So she sounds like a really great resource.
Yeah.
So oftentimes what we have people do is like essentially just make lists, and this can be like something to do like ideally before you get upset, but sometimes it can be like an alternative to eating when you do get upset. It's like essentially thinking of all the things that you can do that are not eating.
Yeah.
So things that are like healthier. So like calling your aunt or like talking to your aunt. And it sounds like you got a lot of suggestions too, like the dancing or like going for a walk.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you have used something similar to this before, like playing games on your phone, like when you get bored. And so essentially the idea is to like make a list of all these things so that when you get upset, you're like, let me pull out that list.
Yes.
And so let me look at this list and see what are these things like can I do right now.
And it's like my pastor, he was saying that you need to be prepared before you go to war. So that's basically what you said. It's like you have to like be prepared and like know how to protect yourself when you do get those thoughts, essentially. So it's like you have to have like like you said, the list of what you can do instead of. And he was talking about things that you can do instead of turning to a place that hinders you. Go to a place that is going to uplift you and who is going to, lift you up when you can't stand up by yourself.
Yeah.
So I know how to do everything. It's just taking that step,
It's like actually just doing it, right?
Yes. It's like I know all this information. It's just the action.
Right.
That I have trouble with.
So it's like when people are trying to say like quit smoking, it's like two things. It's like one, making alternatives really accessible.
Yeah.
And the other thing is like making your usual habit inaccessible. So if you are a cigarette smoker and it's like you feel like you need to put something in your mouth, so then it's just like keep carrot sticks nearby, like something on hand. So when you feel that urge to like put something in your mouth, it's like you have something else.
I mean, it's like with drugs or with alcohol is it's like it's easier to be in recovery, but when it's dealing with food is all over.
It's hard. I mean,
it's so hard, and it's like, what am I supposed to do? I tried like the gum thing, and it's just it works for like 10 minutes, and then
something else.
Yeah, and it's like, no, I need to like swallow something. That just sounds so nasty, but
but I think also for smokers too, it's like, if you're not a smoker, you're like, oh, like nobody smokes. But if you're a smoker, you see everyone who's smoking.
Yes, and it's
just like a trigger.
And it's like you hear like other people saying like, oh, I'm hungry, and then it's like, oh, I'm hungry too, and it's like, no, you're not.
Or you're like watching TV or like reading a magazine. It's like pictures of food,
or like the commercials, or if you go outside and there's like the delivery people or like the ice cream truck, and it's like it's haunting me. I can't go anywhere.
So what some people do is they put together what is oftentimes called like a hope box, or like essentially just an emergency kit.
Yeah.
So it's like when I feel really bad and I know I want to binge eat, and that would be my typical go-to behavior, like let me put together a kit of stuff that will like give me something else to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like essentially throwing away the cigarettes and then finding the alternative. So it's like getting rid of foods that will usually cause you to snack or to binge. So like not buying them or like not having them around or giving them to somebody else.
It's not even that. It's just like when I have one thing and I'm like, okay, this is good enough for me. Like I'll just have like that one thing, and then after that it's like, ooh, I'm gonna have everything else, and just like do a domino effect.
It's like like a landslide.
Yeah, it's like
I'll
just have one cookie. I just want to taste it. Or I'll have just like one bag of chips. I just want to taste it. Or just like one ice cream sandwich and just want to taste it. And then after that, it's like, ooh, let's have like 8 bowls of cereal. Or let's have a whole box of the little cake rolls. Or like, let's have a whole box of crackers. It's
Is it stuff that just happens to be at home, or you go out to the store and get it?
Oh no, it just happens at home.
So part of it is like whether or not it's at home, right? Like if you don't have like ice cream at home, it's a lot harder to be like, I want ice cream, because it's like, oh, there's no ice cream. So part of it is like, donating the food or like putting the food somewhere else so that's not there. It seems like a lot.
And then it's like I tried to put it in my mind, because there was this girl that I work with, woman that I work with, and she was having trouble with like finances, and she had trouble with like getting food and everything. So I would make food for her, and I would bring food for her every single day when I would work. And I would like put that in my mind, like whenever I want to like eat my feelings, I just have to think of people like that, like who are struggling to get food and all that. It worked for like 3 weeks, and then I just started eating my feelings again.
But it worked for a little bit.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
So I think some of it is like not having it available, because if it's available, then it's very easy for us to go and like reach for it.
Yeah.
But then the other part is like the alternatives. So instead of like, you know, having like chips and cakes and stuff like that, like what else can you put there that will help you do something else that isn't eating?
Nothing, because it's like, yeah, I could take away all those trigger foods. However, I'll eat something else that I'm not even in the mood for, or like I don't even want, because I just want like that, you know, like that moving. Something about it is right. It's so weird, and it's hard to even like make an answer, because it's just like.
So let me see. So a few questions. So I know that you already put in a nutrition consult.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get connected to a nutritionist?
No, I forgot.
Okay.
I have the information in my phone.
Okay. I would start there, because oftentimes they have more specific, better advice on like eating and like alternative things than I might have. And they're a good place to start in terms of like, you know, what else is an available substitute, or like, you know, they've seen other patients before who have similar behaviors and like have good suggestions. So I would start with the nutritionist.
Okay.
Part of it too is like, so, you know, your aunt has suggested like going for a walk, or like going outside, or like other stuff that you can do. So I don't know, like stocking a like 1,000-piece puzzle, or like, you know, something for you to do.
I would get annoyed with that 1,000-piece puzzle.
Maybe not a puzzle then. Something else that you enjoy doing that potentially can at least put yourself off eating for at least a little bit.
Yeah.
And the idea is like, if you get either a long enough list or a big enough kit, even if you get bored of one thing, then you can like switch to the other thing.
And another thing is that I try to do things with my hands that keep me occupied.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got my nails done, or I would like do my hair, just like something that's going to like occupy my hands, so that I'm not digging into like cookie jars or like packages, or like, you know, like
knitting or like origami. Or
I have to like do something like that, because my hair's already done, my nails are already done, so it's like, what more can I do?
Does being around other people help?
Sometimes.
So like, say like either going to like a group or like a social activity.
It's very rare, because sometimes I do, and then when I'm depressed, I just want to lock the whole entire world out and just like be alone.
So the third thing is sort of medication stuff. So we increased the sertraline. I don't know, have you noticed any difference with it?
I did, but when I told my cousin this, he started laughing at me, and he was like, "That's not how it works." But well, that whole entire like issue that I had, that I was like sleeping all day, I was too depressed to take my medication.
Okay.
I didn't even want to like get up and take it.
Okay.
So I was just like laying there, like my body just felt like so heavy, and I didn't even want to move. It was just that bad, and it was just like. But then once I felt better, and I was just like, I took a shower and I got myself together, I took it, and then after a couple hours, I felt so much better. So I feel like it's kind of helping.
Okay, so that's good. I'm glad it's helping. Any side effects from it, like things that you don't like?
No.
Okay. And is there something that we can do to like help you take it? Like, you know, some people use pill boxes. You can put the pill box like next to your bed.
I take it every day.
Okay.
I take it every night before bed.
Okay.
But when I didn't get out of bed. So it's like I can't get up to get it, because I keep my medication on my butyl.
Okay.
And that's on the other side of the room.
Okay.
And I was in bed, and I didn't even want to move. Like, I didn't even like turn over to put my phone on the charger. I just let it die. Like, that's how heavy my body was, and I was like nothing.
I don't know if you have a nightstand, or if it would be helpful if you put like a glass of water and the pills like closer to you. Sometimes some people find that helpful. It's like decreasing the barrier to access.
I didn't even want to move. I barely moved. I was just in the same spot.
Yeah, and sometimes the depression gets that bad, and it's like our motivation just
It was terrible. Oh my goodness gracious, I never want to be there again.
It sounds like it was pretty intense.
It was very intense, and I was just like...
like, was there something in particular that eventually caused it to sort of like move away so that you could go on and take the medicine and continue?
Yeah, my cousin came over.
So it sounds like a lot of like having someone else.
Yeah,
can
it's
be a
all
very
family,
strong-
yeah.
Yeah, like your family is like a very strong support for you.
Yes. So he came over because I had bought him a case for his phone, and it came in. So I was like, "Oh, your case is here." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll go pick it up." And then after that, we were just talking, and then it was just so much better. And then we went to go to the fruit market to get like fruits and everything, and that was like a couple blocks away. So I got up and I walked because I haven't worked out in like a long time. So I was like getting my circulation back. So and then we got back. We brought some fruits, and then after that, we saw my grandmother in the rehab center because she just got a knee replacement. So she's in the rehab center. So we went there, and then my aunt was there. I didn't know she was there, so we met up. It was like God ordained. It was like perfect. Like the way that everything just like melted together. It was just like so great. And then after that, I went to my cousin's house, and then because he's a makeup artist, so he did my makeup for his Instagram page because he needed like more content. So he did my makeup, and then after that, he went to the mall with his friend. And then I stood at his house with my aunt because she was cooking. And then we were just talking. And then we were laughing and just like talking about memories and like talking about like the issues that we both have and just like sharing, like having a heart to heart. And it was like really good and it was really helpful. And after that, it was just like a weight off of my shoulders.
Is there, I don't know, would it be helpful for you to like, I know you dislike asking for help, but it sounds like people are offering help.
Yes.
And also, it's really helpful.
Because depression runs in my family, so they can kind of see, they know what's going on.
And to be able to like share and sort of like
Yes.
realize you're not the only person. Like, is it helpful for you to maybe schedule like a regular check-in with like an aunt or a cousin to be like, hey, let's grab coffee like once a week or something like that?
Well, that's gonna be kind of hard because she lives in Florida.
Okay.
So she's
just
only
kidding.
so
But
she's
like a
only
phone call
here.
or like a FaceTime or something like that.
Yeah, we definitely have to do that because she suffers from depression as well.
And so sometimes it might even be helpful for her to have someone else to check into.
Yeah, it
You
was
guys,
it
like,
was
hold
good for
each
both
other
of us.
accountable.
Yeah, it was good for both of us.
Yeah.
It really was. So yeah, I never thought about that.
Because I think sometimes, like, if you're not in therapy or maybe, like, therapy isn't the right time or place, like, sometimes having family who can support you and you can support them, it's like having your own mini support group where you guys, like, can hold each other accountable and be like, how are you doing? What are you struggling with? What are you struggling with? And how can we help each other get better?
And what are you doing to get yourself stronger? And what are you doing to get
Or it's like,
closer?
right now I feel like I want to eat like a horse. Like, what can I do instead? Like, you know, like, let's talk.
And it's like I asked my mom to do that for me, but she's dealing with a little bit of a memory loss. So it's like she can't really help to the extent that she wants to. Because she's on board. She's totally down. She would help, but then she'll forget.
Yeah.
So it's like...
if you have like an aunt or like a cousin or something.
I'm like, lady, because I call her lady. That's my nickname. I'm like, lady, can you keep me busy? She's like, oh, I just want to lay here. Can you keep me busy, lady? Can you keep me busy, lady? You have to like say it louder and louder so she can like kind of get it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you have to go to the bathroom, but it's like you have to go to the bathroom so that people know that you have to go to the bathroom. So you have to like do like that.
The enunciation.
Yes. Yeah. So that they can be like, oh, okay. Yeah. So that's what you have to do. And it's just like when you're in that mood, it's like you don't feel like going to that altitude. It's like, lady.
So having alternative people.
Yes.
Is probably helpful. So, my other suggestion. So there is a medication that is FDA approved for binge eating disorder.
Okay.
So essentially what happens is, I mean, so for you, you have a general idea, like you've worked through, like you know what triggers like some of the binge eating feelings. So for some people who don't and like will randomly start binging, like the medicine is taken like every single day.
I thought that was what I was taking, the Zoloft.
So Zoloft is to help with mood. So Zoloft helps with ideally mood regulation.
Okay.
So instead of feeling like super low or like super high, like
it's
people
just
feel like it's a safety net so that you don't bottom out.
Okay.
So the Zoloft is like a medicine that's taken every day and ideally helps make you feel like overall better. It should make stuff a little bit brighter, like less draggy, like that kind of feeling. This medicine, Vyvanse, is a stimulant, so it's a different type of medicine. It is a medicine that is oftentimes used actually for ADHD, like it can help your focus and concentration. The one drawback is that it can also make anxiety a little bit worse. So that's why I wanted to try the Zoloft first to make your mood a little bit more stable and less like either low or like too anxious.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be taken every day. So, if it's like I was disappointed by something and I think that I'm tempted to eat soon, then that's when you would take it.
So you take it every time that you
would otherwise be binging.
Okay.
So
now, does it work that quick though?
So it usually works within like half an hour to an hour, depending on the person. What it mostly does is it decreases appetite. So then, like, if you have that urge to like put stuff in your mouth, it decreases that urge. And then again, like the subsequent side effects are oftentimes that people feel like potentially more anxious, but it also can help your concentration and focus. So if you, because it's an ADHD med, so it's like oftentimes kids with like ADHD who have trouble sitting still and paying attention in class, they take this medicine to have like, control over their attention. And then the side effect is that they're not hungry. Okay. So it can be a problem for like little kids who are on these medicines and they need to grow and they need to eat to grow, but they take this med and they're not hungry. Yeah. But similarly, that's why it's been approved for binge eating disorder. It's because people who don't want to be hungry but are hungry, they take the medicine and it helps decrease the appetite. Okay. So.
And that'll help with my focus as well, because I struggle with a little bit of unfocus quickly.
So yeah.
So it'll be like a 2-in-1.
So yes, it can potentially help with like both the things at the same time. Okay. So the one thing I would again want to watch out for is just to make sure it doesn't make your anxiety super worse. Okay.
I don't really struggle with the anxiety.
Okay.
So it's very rare if I get anxiety.
So anxiety can include some of that, like thinking the same thoughts again and again, some of that obsessive.
Oh, that's anxiety?
It can be.
Okay.
It can also be depression, right? It's kind of like if you have a cough, it could be you have pneumonia, but it could also just be that you have a cold. Okay. Like it's a symptom, like the rumination, thinking things over again.
I thought anxiety was like the thing that is like.
That's also anxiety.
Oh, okay.
So so it's like anxiety and depression can look like different things in different people. So, again, I just want to make sure that doesn't get worse. Okay. So I would say we would try the medicine and see if it helps / doesn't make anything worse. Okay. So like what I would say is like the first few times you take it, like essentially just keep an eye out for this and like just sort of keep track of how you feel. Okay. So the dose range varies. Usually the starting dose is 10 milligrams. So it would be like, for some reason something happened and you're feeling disappointed and you think it might be a trigger for you to start eating, try taking the medicine instead. The medicine is safe to take every day, so if you end up taking it every day, that's also okay. It's okay. Okay. Some people take it like first thing in the morning as preventative. The other side effect this medicine can have is if it's taken too late in the day, it can cause some insomnia, so problems falling asleep. So that's the other thing to sort of like keep an eye out. Okay. So that would be an argument for potentially taking the medication every day.
Now, is it going to get me accustomed to it if I take it every day?
So yes, but it also depends on the person. So some people, they take the medicine every day and the dose may need to be increased at some point.
So do I have to take it every other day then?
I mean, so it's hard to say, right? Because for you, your binge eating isn't necessarily like an everyday thing. No. There's generally some sort of trigger for it. Yeah. And so in a sense, that helps, but also like you don't really know when you're going to be disappointed.
Exactly. So should I just walk around with the bottle?
I mean, so what I would say is this. So, okay, when we dose this medicine every day, we usually tell people don't take it after noon. Okay. Like, you should take it in the morning if you can.
Well, what if I feel anxious or if I feel anything at like the 8 o'clock at night?
I'm like trying to think what's the best way to do this. So
half?
So ideally, the sertraline, the medicine you're taking now, is supposed to help sort of calm down some of that like anxious and then the mood stuff going up and down. What I would say is, if we're feeling like the mood stuff is still not great, potentially the sertraline can be increased. Like most people end up taking anywhere from 100 to 250 of the medicine. So there's still room to increase it. So if we're feeling like 100 is helping, but it's not like fixing everything.
So like 150?
We can do either 150 or 200.
150.
Want to try 150?
Yeah.
So it doesn't come in 150s. So it would be taking either 1.5 100s or 100 and a 50. Whatever's easier for you. I can give you like 100s and you can just take 1.5.
Okay.
Or I can give you a bottle of 100s and a bottle of 50s and you take one of each.
Sure. That sounds easier because
Okay.
I don't have a pill cutter.
Okay. So let me see. I'll just renew this. So I would say start with that. Take that one every day. So I'm going to send 100 and then I'm also going to send over 50s.
Okay.
And then
we're gonna do the
Vyvanse.
Okay, I was gonna say Velveeta. Something with a V.
Okay, hold on. Let me send this over. So. And then call the nutritionist.
Okay. I have to put in my calendar because I'm gonna forget.